Have you ever looked in the mirror one morning and wondered where the spark went? Not just the energy in your body, but the light in your eyes, the warmth in your smile, the playful intimacy that once came so naturally. Maybe you haven't said it out loud, but deep down, a quiet question lingers. Is this just how it's going to be now? Slower steps, colder hands, longer nights, shorter tempers, and the distance between you and your partner growing silently, like fog rolling in between two boats once tied together. But what if I told you that the answer doesn't lie in some expensive medication or a late-night infomercial miracle? What if I told you the way back to connection, confidence, and that unspoken closeness might already be sitting quietly in your kitchen, in a bowl, on your table, right next to the bananas? I know, it sounds strange, maybe even silly, but keep listening. Because after 30 years of helping men and women over 60 reclaim their vitality, I've discovered something so simple, so overlooked, that it changed how I see aging forever. My name is Dr. Michael. I've spent most of my life listening to the aches and longings people try to hide. And I want to tell you something important right now. You are not alone. You are not broken. And it is not too late. You see, we've been fed a quiet lie. The lie that after 60, life must start shrinking. That joy and passion are for the young. That physical closeness is optional, or worse, shameful. That we must settle for silence instead of laughter, habit instead of touch, and pills instead of presence. But today, we turn that lie upside down. Because hidden in the most ordinary fruits, yes, fruits, are compounds so powerful, so precisely tuned to your body's natural rhythms, that they're helping seniors across the world feel like themselves again. Not like who they were at 25, but something even better, wise, open, grounded, and full of life. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever tried papaya first thing in the morning? Or shared a handful of cherries at night while watching the stars? Or sipped pomegranate juice slowly, letting the richness remind you that your body is still yours? Most people haven't. Most people don't know. And that's exactly why I made this video. For you, to share what nobody told us. Not our doctors, not our parents, not even the well-meaning wellness gurus. Because this isn't just about nutrition. It's about circulation, intimacy, and emotional closeness. It's about restoring your confidence, not in a dramatic movie-style way, but through steady daily nourishment that your body actually understands. If you've ever felt tired, disconnected, or unsure if your best days are behind you, I invite you to stay. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 fruits you can find at nearly any grocery store that are helping people over 60 rekindle physical connection, regulate hormones, and reignite intimacy without any synthetic medications. And no, this isn't about magic cures or miracle berries from distant lands. This is real science, combined with gentle daily choices. And something even more important, hope. Hope that the warmth you once felt in your body can return. Hope that holding hands can mean something new again. Hope that your next chapter isn't smaller, but deeper. If you've ever tried something natural that made a real difference in your life, go ahead and type yes in the comments. Or if you're still skeptical but curious, write I'm listening. Let's learn together. Because knowledge doesn't just inform, it heals. And today, your journey back to vitality starts with something simple, something sweet, something real. Let's begin. Let me start with a bold statement. Aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I'm 65, 70, even 80. Things are different now. My joints ache. My sleep is broken. I don't feel the same energy or desire or even purpose sometimes. And yes, your body has changed. That's real. But what if I told you something no one says out loud? What if the tiredness, the emotional disconnect, the lack of intimacy aren't just a result of aging? What if they're symptoms of dehydrated blood vessels, low-grade inflammation, and hormonal stagnation? All things that can be improved naturally. And more importantly, what if we've been sold the wrong solution all along? You see, for decades, we've been conditioned to believe that once we hit a certain age, our only choices are pills, creams, or quietly giving up. Doctors rarely ask about your diet when you say, "I'm not feeling myself anymore." Pharmacists don't ask about your fruit intake when you say, "I feel disconnected from my partner." And almost no one tells you this simple truth. Your blood flow is your lifeline. It powers your brain, your heart, your skin, and yes, your ability to feel pleasure and connection. When circulation slows, due to stress, processed foods, lack of hydration, or just years of wear and tear, everything begins to feel a little muted, a little more distant. That includes desire, warmth, spontaneity, confidence. But what if, instead of jumping to a prescription, instead of accepting this new normal, we focused on what your body actually wants: moisture, color, enzymes, natural sugars, micronutrients, not in the form of pills, but in the most vibrant source possible: fruit. Fruits, you see, are not just healthy snacks. They are vascular medicine. They soften arteries. They reduce silent inflammation. They support nitric oxide, the molecule that allows blood to flow where it's needed most. And when that blood flows, things change. Let me give you an example. Do you remember what it felt like to wake up with energy? To roll over, touch your partner's hand and feel not only love, but desire? Not out of obligation, but from a place of aliveness. That's not gone. It's simply asleep. And one of the gentlest ways to wake it up is through circulation. Now here's where the myth gets dangerous. You've probably heard that as we age, we should avoid sugar. That fruit has too much sugar. That it's better to stick with proteins and avoid carbohydrates. But here's the truth. The natural sugars in whole fruits, when paired with fiber and antioxidants, do not spike your insulin the way processed sweets do. In fact, in people over 60, fruits can help stabilize blood sugar, if eaten with intention and consistency. Because when your blood flows better, your stress levels drop, your hormones rebalance, and suddenly, intimacy becomes a conversation, not a chore. So let me flip the script for you. No, aging does not mean the end of intimacy. No, you don't need medication to feel desire again. No, you are not too old to wake up feeling vibrant. Yes, your fruit bowl can be a form of self-care. Yes, you can restore circulation naturally. Yes, the softest path back to connection might be the one that tastes the sweetest. In the next section, I'm going to tell you about real people, real seniors, who made tiny changes and felt massive shifts, not overnight, but steadily, like a spring slowly returning to life. If you're tired of hearing, "This is just part of getting older," I'm here to tell you, it's not, and you're not alone. Let's look at the people who prove it. I want to take you into the lives of 3 people just like you, over 60, tired, discouraged, quietly wondering if life had anything fresh left to offer, and how they found their way back, not with pills, not with pressure, but with something as simple as fruit. Let me begin with Mr. Adams. He was 72, a retired school principal, still sharp as ever, but carrying a dullness in his eyes, a weariness he couldn't explain. He told me, "I walk every morning, I eat my greens, I'm doing everything right, but I'm exhausted. I don't feel like myself anymore." When I gently asked about intimacy, he looked down and said, "It's been a long time. I don't know if that part of me still exists." We started small, a bowl of papaya in the morning, with a spoonful of Greek yogurt. That's it. 3 weeks later, he came back, blushing. "I don't know what's happening," he chuckled, "but I feel alive. I sleep better. I feel close to her again." Papaya had done more than nourish his body. It had reminded his blood vessels to open again, It had whispered to his hormones that the story wasn't over. Not everything changed overnight, but something precious returned. A glance, a laugh, a long-forgotten spark. Next, let me introduce you to Helen and Charles, married for 42 years, living together but in recent years, feeling apart. They weren't fighting. They still had coffee every morning, still watched the same shows, but they weren't touching, not out of anger, just habit. Helen once told me, "I miss us. I miss how he used to reach for me without thinking." Charles, in his quiet way, confessed, "I still want her, but I don't know how to start anymore." We started with Cherries, velvety red, full of melatonin, anthocyanins, and compounds that boost blood flow gently. Each night they shared a bowl, not in silence but with intention, a ritual. 2 months later, they walked into my office, laughing, holding hands. "Something woke up," Helen smiled. "It's like we remembered each other." Cherries had done something subtle, not just physical, but emotional. They calmed the nerves, balanced the hormones, reopened the door to affection. And finally, let me tell you about Rosa and Miguel, both 71. From a small town in New Mexico, they loved each other deeply, but had resigned to just being companions. Rosa felt disconnected from her body. "I feel dry, tense, like my body's not mine anymore," she told me with tears in her eyes. Miguel said softly, "I don't want to pressure her, but I miss us." I told them about pomegranates, not pills, not treatments, just a handful of ruby seeds each morning. Within a month, Rosa called me, her voice softer, fuller. "I feel something moving inside me again. Not just physically, but emotionally. I feel open." Miguel added, "It's not just about intimacy. We laugh more. We sit closer. There's warmth between us again." Pomegranates had brought back life, not in some dramatic movie scene, but in long walks, quiet glances, and shared memories rekindled. 3 couples, 3 stories. 1 truth. You are never too old to feel again. You are never too far gone to reconnect, not just with your partner, but with yourself. These stories aren't miracles. They're reminders. Reminders that your body still listens, that your heart still remembers, that your desire to feel close, alive, and cared for is still sacred and possible. Next, I'll walk you through the 8 most common mistakes that slowly chip away at circulation and intimacy after 60. If any of them sound familiar, don't worry. You're not alone, and change is closer than you think. And ignoring poor circulation as just part of aging. Most people over 60 accept cold hands, numb feet, or low energy as normal. But what if it's actually your body pleading for better blood flow? John, 67, dismissed his tingling legs as old man problems. But the truth? His poor circulation was starving his muscles and nerves. Once we added cherries and red grapes to his daily meals, his mobility and energy returned, slowly but surely. Don't ignore these signs. Your body is still responsive, if you listen. Relying only on medication without addressing nutrition. Gloria, 74, was on 3 different medications for blood pressure and cholesterol. Yet she felt no more energy, just side effects. She was missing the foundation of healing, nutrition. Once we introduced morning pomegranate seeds and nighttime papaya, her next visit was glowing. "I feel light," she said. "More me." Medication has its place, but it cannot replace nourishment. Skipping fruit due to sugar myths. "I thought fruit was bad for me," said Robert, 71. "Too much sugar." But whole fruits, especially berries, cherries, papaya, and grapes, carry fiber, antioxidants, and enzymes that support hormone balance and blood flow. The sugar myth keeps many seniors away from nature's best medicine. When Robert reintroduced cherries and cranberries, not only did his digestion improve, but his sleep and closeness with his wife did too. Eating on autopilot, without feeling. Emma, 68, told me she just eats to fill the stomach. No joy, no attention. But eating is also emotional healing. When she began pairing her meals with quiet music, taking time to enjoy fruit, and even saying gratitude aloud, her entire digestion and mood improved. More smiles, more ease. Autopilot habits numb us, not just from food, but from life. Treating intimacy as optional instead of essential. Intimacy is not a luxury. It's a form of human expression and connection. Too many seniors avoid touch out of fear, shame, or assumption that it's not for us anymore. But closeness, physical or emotional, is a source of health, comfort, and identity. Cherries, grapes, and papaya help regulate hormones and emotional openness, gently reigniting the warmth many thought was lost. Since starting the day with coffee, not hydration. Coffee is not hydration, and starting your morning with it, on an empty stomach, spikes cortisol and dehydrates your blood flow. Victor, 70, replaced his coffee-first ritual with warm water and papaya. Within weeks, he noticed improved focus, smoother digestion, and fewer afternoon crashes. Your first morning action shapes your entire day. Overlooking the emotional role of food is memory. It connects us to culture, warmth, and presence. Maria, 66, began making small fruit plates with her husband each night. Slices of papaya, grapes, and cherry halves. "We talk more now," she said. "We remember the early days. Don't just eat, share, connect. Let the ritual feed your heart, not just your belly." Waiting for something to feel broken before acting. Prevention is the quiet medicine of wisdom. Too many wait until something hurts, fails, or embarrasses them to take action. But subtle signs, like restless sleep, fading desire, or irritability, are early whispers from your body. Fruits like pomegranate and cranberries work best when used daily. Not as a fix, but as a steady form of care. Those were the 8 most common and costly mistakes I see in people over 60. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to reverse these patterns. No stress, no confusion, just simple daily solutions, grounded in real results. Begin your morning with papaya, plus yogurt before coffee, before emails, before the noise of the day. Start with something soft. A few spoonfuls of ripe papaya, paired with plain Greek yogurt, delivers enzymes, vitamins A, C, E, and balances your gut flora. This not only helps with digestion, but also stimulates circulation and hormone regulation gently. Richard, 73, told me, "It feels like my body says thank you after I eat it." He now wakes up with more energy and less tension in his chest. Add cherries as a nighttime ritual. Cherries, especially tart ones, contain natural melatonin and anthocyanins. They calm your nervous system, improve sleep quality, and ease emotional stress, especially before bed. Evelyn and her husband began sharing a small bowl of cherries each night. They now sleep more soundly and wake up feeling closer. Intimacy isn't just physical, it starts with presence. Cherries help bring that presence back. A handful of pomegranate seeds each morning. Think of them as nature's little heart pills. These ruby red seeds are packed with polyphenols and nitrates that boost nitric oxide, supporting flexible arteries, stronger erections, and increased pelvic blood flow. For women, they help ease dryness and tension. For men, they restore confidence, quietly, gently. Place them over oatmeal, blend into smoothies, or enjoy slowly with a spoon. The act itself feels nourishing. Or include cranberries in salads or morning drinks. Often overlooked, cranberries are kidney protectors. Healthy kidneys regulate blood pressure and hormone flow, crucial for maintaining energy and intimacy. Dried cranberries, unsweetened, or a splash of pure juice can work wonders. Margaret, 68, suffered from recurring urinary discomfort. After adding cranberries daily, her symptoms faded, and her confidence in intimacy returned. Sometimes, comfort is the first step toward closeness. Snack on red grapes in the afternoon. Instead of processed snacks or tea biscuits, try a handful of fresh red grapes. They're high in resveratrol, a compound that boosts lower body blood flow and supports vascular sensitivity. David, 76, replaced his chips with grapes. "I don't get that mid-afternoon slump anymore," he smiled. "I feel like my legs are lighter. More flow, more vitality." Create a daily fruit-sharing ritual with your partner. Every evening, take 5 minutes to prepare a small plate of fruit together. No phones, no TV, just slicing, arranging, and sharing. This gentle act becomes more than nutrition. It becomes connection, memory, and warmth. I've seen couples repair years of distance, starting with cherries and papaya slices under a soft kitchen light. Combine fruits into simple smoothies. For those with sensitive digestion or dental issues, smoothies are a blessing. Blend 1-2 banana, 1-2 cup cherries, a few grapes and yogurt or almond milk. Add flaxseed or a dash of cinnamon for extra heart support. Mary, 70, calls it her happy drink. It helps her feel steady, full, and emotionally grounded. Pair fruit time with positive reflection. Your body isn't just eating, it's listening. While enjoying fruit, try this. Say 3 things you're grateful for, or remember a moment when you felt alive. This emotional pairing rewires how the brain and heart respond to nourishment. It deepens the effects, subtly but powerfully. These aren't complicated regimens. There's no right way, only a consistent, loving way. Your body still responds to love. And fruit, in its purest form, is love, from the earth to you. Now let's tie everything together. So, what now? You've learned about the fruits. You've heard the stories. You've seen how simple, gentle shifts can revive not just your energy, but your intimacy, confidence, and connection. But more importantly, I hope you've remembered something deeper, that you are still here, that your body, despite everything it's been through, still listens, still responds, still wants to feel alive, and that you, my friend, are not done. Let go of the old belief that growing older means giving up. That connection is only for the young. That passion has an expiration date. It doesn't. Whether it's a quiet smile, a gentle touch, or a bowl of cherries shared in the soft light of your kitchen. Your next chapter is waiting, not to return to the past, but to reawaken what was never really lost, just hidden. You've spent your whole life giving, to your family, your work, your responsibilities. Now, it's your turn, to nourish you. Start small. A slice of papaya, a handful of grapes, a new bedtime ritual with cherries. Let each bite be a message. I care for this body. I believe in new beginnings. I'm still capable of feeling deep joy. You don't need permission to feel good again. You just need a quiet yes to yourself. And if today all you do is eat a little fruit with intention, then you've already begun. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone you love, a friend, a partner, a neighbor, someone who needs to hear, it's not too late. Leave a comment and let me know. What fruit will you try first? What change are you ready for? And remember, you are not alone. We're walking this path together, one bite, one breath, one small act of hope at a time.